The twins are back, the blue genie is here for the urn, and we find out the big bang with the Gemini curse. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
You want to go like this with this song. Hey guys, we're back with Legacies After Show, episode 10. There's a world where your dreams come true. The twins are finally back, which I'm excited. It's been about 3 episodes. Lizzie has 4 wishes with this blue genie, not genie, genie. And then we find out all about the Gemini curse. Of course, we have your news and gossip. And as always, we have your fiercest moments for our special segment. But before we get started, I'm going to introduce you guys to our new co-host for the After Show for Legacies. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joshua Wright. I am very excited to be here talking about Legacies. I'm just jumping into this series, and I am extremely excited to be here.
Welcome. So, how did you feel about tonight's episode?
I felt like tonight's episode was very enlightening, coming from Lizzie's point of view.
Do you think that we are getting, I mean, obviously we know Lizzie is a little bit selfish, as we've learned throughout some of the episodes, but do you feel like, you know, her interacting with the blue genie, that she's getting a little more, I guess, sensitive and, you know, putting other people's feelings in consideration?
Yes, I did feel like she felt like she was more self-aware. And so when the genie came to her and let her know that because of some of her previous experiences, her family failed, I feel like now she's realizing, hey, I need to do better. Yes,
and then, of course, before we dig more into the genie, the twins are back. They've been gone for about 3 episodes, and we find out that they were actually, with last episode, we found out they were with Caroline, which is their mom. I guess just spending time with her. So are you happy to see them back after you've, I guess, binge-watched all the episodes?
Yes.
Are you happy to see them back in action and back on the episode?
Yes, I am. I think they bring a very good dynamic to the show because of their relationship.
Yeah.
You know, Josie's giving and Lizzie is taking. So I feel like we needed that back in the show.
Yes. And who's your favorite sister so far?
I have to say Josie's my favorite.
Why?
Because Josie is very considerate without being threatening to her sister. You know, she never scolds her sister. And I like that about her. She's very patient.
Yes, I would have to agree. So let's get into the wishes. So as we know, genies normally give people 3 wishes,
Correct.
which Lizzie mentioned that she thought she only had 3 wishes, but she actually got more than 3 wishes. She got 4 wishes. And let's just tackle the first wish. So the first wish was she wished that Hope never went to the Salvatore School. How did you feel about that? How did you feel about her being so selfish as to knowing that Hope is like a big part of the Salvatore School, of her wishing for Hope to just be gone, like from the school?
Well, I felt like that was going to happen anyway at some point, and I feel like Lizzie was not aware of how much of an influence Hope had.
Yes. Honestly, I wasn't that very much known that she had that much of an influence. Like seeing all the wishes play out, it was definitely interesting to see that her not being there, like just kind of like tore everything apart.
Yeah, it did. I feel like when they came into school and when she saw the living room area was desolate, it made her realize, like, you know, Hope is a really big part of this school.
She is. And you did, so I like how I don't know if you caught this, but they mentioned that Elena and Damon, sorry, I'm trying to get my thoughts. Elena and Damon, which are from actually the Vampire Diaries, they actually mentioned them in this episode, which I thought was pretty cool in the first wish, and that they were the ones that kind of gave the money to fund the school, which I thought was pretty interesting. When you watch the Vampire Diaries, you'll learn a little bit more about Damon and Elena, but I thought it was pretty cool for them to throw that in there because, as we know, we want to see more of the Vampire Diaries and the originals in Legacies, and we get little tidbits every now and then. So that was pretty cool that Josie mentioned that in the first wish. And then we talk about the second wish, which was she wishes that there was never a Salvatore School to begin with. How did you feel about that? Did you think that was crazy that she took it that far, that she wanted Hope to be gone, that she wishes that there was never a Salvatore School to begin with?
I do. I felt like she didn't realize what she was getting. You know, the Salvatore School has been a savior for a lot of these supernaturals. And I feel like Lizzie was in a position where she felt like Hope's contribution to the school was the reason it was there. And now she's realizing, wait a minute, I made another mistake.
Very much a mistake. And then when we go into the second wish, which I actually like the second wish in my opinion. I think
was your favorite?
It was bomb because I like the fact that, as you know, Josie is more so passive. And then we have Lizzie, who is like she's very aggressive. And, you know, she wants, Josie kind of is like a people pleaser in a sense, you know? And I like how the roles were switched. Did you like that they did that, where it was like she was like the head cheerleader dating the guy, and she was just like the I don't even know what you want to call her
Well,
role.
I put that down here. I put Josie's boss in the second wish when she came in, and Lizzie's self-centered demeanor came across when she asked, "Why am I in the back seat?"
Yes.
And Josie kind of looked at her, she was kind of confused. And so when she got into the school and everyone was inviting her and letting her know what was going on, Lizzie was like, "I'm in the background."
Yes.
So I thought that was cool.
Which is cool because Josie is always in the background.
Yeah.
Like in the show, like not that she's more so in the background, but she's a quiet sister. She's always doing things to please Lizzie.
Yeah.
She sits back. So I think it was pretty cool how they flipped the script with the second wish and had her be like the top dog, if you want to call it. And then how about the scene where we have Caleb, Jed, Pedro, and Hope pulling up, getting out this car in this like super dope. It's funny because I saw these outfits, the pictures circling around social media before this episode aired, and I was like, is it a costume? Like, is it a costume party?
Yeah.
And it's so dope that they just hopped out the car, they walked in, and then to find out that they actually go to Mikaelson boarding school, which Mikaelson is the last name for Hope, and her dad, Klaus, is, I guess he started a boarding school, kind of what the Salvatore School is in the present day, and all these different supernaturals go there, and they come to save the day when Lizzie has this big breakdown in the school, which was pretty cool. Did you like that scene?
I did like it. I did like how they came in like a P. Diddy
video. Good reference.
Yeah, but I liked how after I found out that Mikaelson started his own school, it made sense to me that he would have taken his own money to start his own school, as opposed to giving the money to the Salvatore School.
Yeah, and I think it was actually kind of weird because, as we know, Klaus dies in the originals.
Okay.
So I don't know if the writers didn't notice that they said that, she mentioned, I don't know if you caught that she mentioned that her dad was in Europe looking to start a new branch.
Yeah.
So I kind of was confused because I was like, well, in the originals, he kind of passes away. So
maybe he wouldn't have passed away. If, based off the wish, he would have been alive. So, we don't know that.
That's a good way to, I didn't think about that. Because I was like, why would they say that he's in Europe and he's passed away? I like that you kind of reference that. Okay. And then we're going to go into the third wish, which she just wishes that Hope is never born. How selfish. That I think that was just pretty selfish that she's doing all these things to get Hope, just out of the picture. And her last ultimate, well, not her last, we think it's her last ultimate wish, but it turns out not being. But she wishes that Hope never existed. And then they're in this world that's just, the supernatural are, I guess they are not tolerated in a sense.
It seems like they weren't tolerated. I put down here that without hope, no safety.
I like
that.
And,
it was a desolate world. Caleb and Raphael was the one that was searching, or he was free, I guess, and the doctor was free based off the poster.
Yes.
So, I don't know. Hope is kind of real.
We wouldn't have, as we see in this episode, they let us know that if she wasn't to exist, there would be no Salvatore School. Supernaturals wouldn't be able to roam among each other and be comfortable. I like how the Genie mentioned that to Lizzie. Your dad, you're being so selfish, but your dad has done all this for you to be able to exist in a world where you're yourself. And I don't think she really realized that, that there's no that without Hope.
It's true. Her name is Hope.
Hope, exactly. Her name is Hope. And so then we find out that, she has one more wish, and she does the Genie a favor and basically wishes that whatever brought her to Malivore didn't happen. So she's able to not even have to get her ultimate task, which is we find out her ultimate task, we knew this, her ultimate task was that she had to get the urn. And that's why she was granting Lizzie all these wishes, because she knew that, all these wishes were going to be ultimately end bad anyway. Yeah. And she had her I guess her ulterior motives. Did you feel that she had ulterior motives? Were you kind of confused as who the Genie was at the beginning?
No, that flipped me. I felt like Lizzie was on the right track in the beginning when her gut was telling her that she was evil.
Yes.
But she ignored it because someone's going to grant you a wish. I like Corvettes, so I would have asked for like 20 Corvettes, Yeah. But I just feel like Lizzie, she didn't follow her gut feeling, and I never knew the Genie was going to do anything. It didn't come to me that way.
Being from the past episodes, I kind of figured that something wasn't right about her. You are not going to just come and give me, you see that I'm just sad and I'm, I guess, vulnerable, and give me this opportunity to have all these wishes for this one person to go away and not want something in return.
That's true. I looked at it a different way. The point of view that I took from it is that Lizzie has the power to kill the Salvatore School. So the Genie was sent there to let her know, hey, you may need to change your personality just a little bit in order to keep things going.
Oh, Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good little,
so.
I guess, I'll take on it too. Yeah, she kind of, I knew she was bad, but I didn't know what she wanted. And then as we got more and more into it, and she was like, I need the urn. I was like, okay, it makes sense. They're all coming for the different things from Alivor, and she's just another one that came and she got Lizzie and had her vulnerable. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. So did you think, with that being said, with, all the wishes coming through, were you surprised at Lizzie's last wish? I think that's my most important question.
Yes.
Yes.
I was surprised because I was trying to figure out how she was going to fix this problem.
Okay.
When the Genie told her that she had one more wish left and she had to have the urn, and Lizzie says, well, I just need time to think. And so I'm thinking to myself, I don't know how she's going to clean this up. And she figured it out.
She did.
She figured it out.
She did. Kudos to you, Lizzie, because I didn't have hope in you. I didn't.
No,
I didn't have hope in you.
That's a good one.
So, hey, guys, before we move on to our next topic, we just wanted to say thank you for making us the ESPN of TV talk. For us to continue to grow, we could use your help. If you're on YouTube right now, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you're on iTunes or Spotify, please give us a 5-star rating. But no matter where you are, leave us a comment so you can get involved in the conversation, and we will definitely shout you out. Being a part of AfterBuzz has meant so much to all of us. We're able to truly grow and just connect with our fans with some of our favorite shows. So don't forget to tell your friends about us and keep enjoying our shows. I love AfterBuzz.
Oh yeah, I love AfterBuzz.
We're able to grow. We're able
Yes.
to grow. So let's move on to the next topic. So let's talk about the Gemini curse.
Okay.
So we learned that kind of all the different wishes and things that Lizzie is going through. The second to last wish was very important because we learned about the Gemini curse, which the Gemini curse is, I actually read this, the Gemini curse is when the twins have to actually merge on their 22nd birthday and the strongest twin will survive. Would you say that you were shocked to see when Alaric revealed to us that Lizzie had actually got very competitive and killed Josie when it came down to knowing about the Gemini curse?
Right.
Were you kind of shocked to see that Lizzie was the last one standing in the second to last wish?
I wasn't surprised due to the fact that it's based off the twin who's the strongest, surviving. So when I saw that Lizzie was the one who survived, I mean, it was a testament to how she's been the entire series.
That's true. But sometimes the underdogs come out on top.
Sometimes the underdogs do come out on top.
So, I mean, I kind of was shocked in a sense. I mean, like you said, I agree with you with saying that she is the tougher one throughout the whole season. She's the more tougher one. But I also believe in the underdog. So I guess I kind of was a little bit shocked to hear that the reason why Josie has passed away is because of Lizzie.
Yeah.
I think more so that was a shock.
Okay.
But we did find out that there's a big moment that the show has been waiting to come to, and it actually is the Gemini curse. So if you remember, the Genie tells Lizzie that, with you wishing me gone, you're going to completely forget about, you're not going to remember the Gemini curse, which is something that's very important.
It is.
When you're becoming 22.
That's true.
How do you feel about the writers putting that in the show to where she's going back to her reality, and as we see, she knows something's not right.
That's right.
But she doesn't know what it is.
Yeah.
And then are you shocked to see that they kind of they had that wiped away to where it's going to play out in the show to see who's going to be the one strongest surviving? Because although in the wishes she ended up being the one, surviving, it could be flipped.
It could be flipped. Lizzie's in a conundrum because I feel like after she comes back from her experiences with the Genie, she still is aware that something's up because she's very cerebral. I wrote that down, that Lizzie is very cerebral. So even though she comes back and the Gemini curse, in a sense, is escaped from her mind, she still knows that something is afoot, and she has to be on her P's and Q's.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I feel like she still feels some way to, even though she obviously doesn't remember that, the whole wish situation and everything. It's crazy to me that she still feels this way about Hope. Like, she just really, even the way she ended, the episode ended, she just still has this kind of vendetta against Hope. Yeah. Which, I mean, I can get it because her dad is close to Hope. So, it's like jealousy.
I think that Lizzie is looking at Hope through the wrong lens. Yes. Because when the series starts, you start noticing Hope, and for me, I'm not a person who's jealous. So if someone else is spending that much time with my father, and I know how much he's helped me, then that means that person needs that much help. That's how I look at it. So I would be actually happy that Hope is gravitating to my dad because that could be a third sister for me, or a second sister for me.
That's true.
You know?
And we know Hope really doesn't have, she doesn't really have any family. So we see at the beginning of this season, Josie and Lizzie both feel that way, but then we start to see that Josie's kind of a little more, a little more nicer to Hope, and kind of understands why her dad is so, connected and trying to be that,
involved.
Involved in her, because she doesn't really have anyone. Everyone is, she has her uncles and aunts, but like in that moment, she doesn't have a dad, she doesn't have a mom. So
that's true.
I don't know. I mean, this was a pretty good episode. It's not one of my favorites so far, but I think the wishes is what like kind of gravitated me towards this episode.
Okay.
Because I love to see Josie, the script flip, and her just being in that, like you said, that boss role, and just being that the underdog coming out on top. Because
that means she has the potential to do it.
That's why I said we can't knock her out for being with this whole Gemini curse, for being the one that loses. Yeah. And then we also, at the end of the episode, we also learn, we see the book and we see Alaric and he has it written down. And Caroline has been gone. Obviously, she's on the show, but they have her gone away. And we find out that she's gone because she is trying to find basically a cure for this Gemini curse. Do you think she's going to find one?
I don't know. These writers are kind of killing me now. An episode ago, I would say, of course she's going to find it, but now I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's it's interesting that this is the big bang for the, for the show. This is what the ultimate, what is leading up to. I mean, I hope she finds one, but if she not, I guess may the best sister witch win. I'm rooting for.
But you can't get rid of them. They're phenomenal in their own ways. Yeah. Lizzie is strong and aggressive and jealous. Josie is considerate and moves behind the curtain tight. Yes. You have to keep both of them.
I know, but I'm rooting for Josie.
Okay, that's not a bad route.
I'm rooting for Josie. But who knows?
Yeah,
we'll have to see how the rest of the season plays out. And I actually saw a picture today on I think it was Josie's Instagram, that they wrapped up season 1. So we'll have to see how it plays out, and maybe it's going to lead into season 2 to where we know if one of them is going to have to, pass, or they're gonna write it out. Yeah, they're gonna write it out to where they both get to survive. Yeah. But other than that, do you have any more thoughts or opinions on tonight's episode?
Yes, I like how they put everything together as far as Hope's influence. That was a big part for me. Watching the series and understanding Hope's relationship with the headmaster is letting me know now that her influence is so big. I wasn't aware that her father gave so much money to the school. And, they're using that income to pay everyone and to do the research, whatever they're doing. So I did like that. They gave us a lot more background on Hope.
Yeah, and we learned that Hope is definitely like, she's the it of the school.
Yes.
Like, you don't think it? Because I know she's special, but watching tonight's episode and just seeing how Lizzie tried to remove her in every situation possible, it was kind of interesting to see how no matter what, she still popped up into her existence. She didn't want her to exist anymore. Yeah. It's like she's very important to the whole operation that they're running. It wouldn't be a Salvatore School without Hope Mikaelson.
It's true. It would not be.
I like how Julie put that in that, in the whole little scenario. But yeah, that kind of wraps up my thoughts on tonight's episode. So we can go ahead and head into our special segment tonight, which is Fiercest Moments, which you're going to let me know who you thought was the fiercest of tonight's episode.
Okay. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so for me, the fiercest tonight was Genie.
Wow. Oh.
And I say that because she was so direct and so cunning with how she manipulated Lizzie. She didn't use a lot of violence, which is what fierce means, but she used a lot of manipulation, and she led her to think that she was doing it for Lizzie's best interest, but she was actually doing it for her. So I have to give the reward to Genie.
I like that. You know what? So I like Genie, and I like how she's Genie and not Genie.
That's right.
She said Jinni.
That's right. I wrote that too.
I like how they flip that instead of Genie, Jenny. For my fiercest moments tonight, I'm gonna definitely go with Josie in the second wish. I think she was just a boss babe. Her little her two ponytails and her dress and just everything about her in this episode I just loved, because that's how I want her to be in the present day, but I know we need that balance between the two sisters. Yeah. And then I also, I have two actually. I'm also going to go, it's just a moment when they, when Hope Caleb, Jed, and Pedro hopped out the car, that whole moment was just like, wow. It was just like a superhero type moment. So So I definitely, that whole scene was just like, wow. I loved it. The outfits, the car, the M, just that whole scene was just...
It was aggressive.
It was, but I loved it.
Yeah, and they came in like super alphas.
Yes. I just was like, yes, come through, Hope Mikaelson. So I was here for that. I was here for it. So, yeah, now we can just head into our news and gossip for tonight.
Right. AfterBuzz TV News.
So the first picture we have Lizzie, who's played by Kaylee Bryant. She is rocking this like purple type of, I guess you want to call it, she dyed her hair purple. And I think it's just gorgeous. What do you think about it? It's cute.
I think it looks good. It's in line with what fashion is talking about this year.
Yes.
Looks really legit.
I'm like, yes. I really loved it. It's different.
Yeah.
It's so like you said, it's so in line with fashion. How everyone's like dyeing their hair all these outgoing, dramatic colors, and it fits her. She has a cute baby face, so I think she looks really, really, really cute. And then the other photo we have tonight is Chris Lee, who plays Caleb, the vampire on the show. I did some research and realized that he actually is a musician. He sings. Yes, so he posted this photo, and it was like last month, and it was like a throwback Thursday, I guess you want to call it.
Okay.
But it's been a year since he released his In My Feelings EP.
How about that?
So I love finding out little gems about different actors, because everyone has so many different talents.
They do,
so, I was just excited to find this out about him. I think it's pretty dope. I actually want to give it a listen to see that. And I read also that he's done some things in the Hamilton.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a big one.
That's really big.
Yeah, that's real big.
Like, oh, that's kind of cool to, find that out. And then I have one more piece of news that I'm going to read it to you guys. I found it online. It's Jenny Boyd, who plays Lizzie in the show. So she did a little interview with TV Line, and one of the questions that TVLine.com, one of the questions that stood out to me was the reporter asked her, I do feel like Lizzie is misunderstood. This episode did a great job of getting that across. And then Jenny's response was, yeah, I think this episode really showed her vulnerability, which is where I come from when I play her. She's trying to compensate so much, and that's why she feels the need to isolate people the way she does. The journey she went on in this episode was wonderful, especially in the final sequence, and I feel like we really got to see her heart. Which I have to agree with.
Yeah, we did. We saw the inside of her. Yeah, definitely.
She's very hard, and she's selfish sometimes, as we know. But I like how this episode was just centered around her. Yeah. Like, it really focused. I mean, we learned more things about how, things wouldn't happen without hope, but it really just focused on Lizzie, and she kind of was pushed into the spotlight in this episode, and we got to see more a vulnerable side of her, which I love. Did you like that they did that?
Yeah, we needed to see that. We know she's sensitive, but we needed to see her vulnerability, to see what moves her.
Yeah,
I felt like it was good.
And then she also quoted and says that the merge is a huge thing that the show was building towards. When she first read the Genie's words, over the seasons going to develop. This episode taught the audience about the merge in the first real, palpable way. Their dynamic is going to change when they actually realize what the curse is and what needs to be done, which I agree with. Yeah. Because, they don't know, and then obviously Caroline and Alaric are hiding this from them, but when they find out...
Oh, it's going to be a big deal.
It's going to go down.
Yeah, it's going to be real big.
It's going to go down because it's going to be interesting. I mean, as we saw that she actually ended up killing Josie in the wish, so it's going to go down.
Could that be foreshadowing?
It could be.
I mean, you never know.
Because she has her little anger moments where she just gets very angry, Like he said, she had a real bad angry moment, and she wasn't able to control it, and she ended up killing Josie. So,
well, remember too, Alaric called Caroline at the end after she came back to reality and said, she's been a little unbalanced lately. So that tells us that something is afoot.
And something's I feel like if she finds this out, something's gonna knock her. I don't know.
Push her over.
It's gonna push her over. Push her over. But that's interesting. We finally know what the big thing we're working towards for this, with the show and the big plot, which it turns out is the Gemini curse. So I'm very interested to see how this plays out, especially with one of the sisters having to go bye-bye. Or they can both, like you said, they both can stay.
Hey, they've been figuring out problems all season long. We can see.
They work together. If she gets with Hope and, make it happen, they might be able to stay.
Yes.
So let's head into our predictions for next week. Okay.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
It's like the crystal ball.
Yes.
So, well, not next week, but the following week, because we won't be here next week. They return February 21st, I think.
Yes, ma'am. Right? Correct.
Yes. So, what are your predictions for the next episode? What do you foresee happening with now all this that we've been revealed in this past episode? What are you expecting? What are you hoping to see?
Well, one of my predictions is that Lizzie is going to be a lot, I get more patient with Hope. Now that she's seen Hope's side of the school, I feel like she's going to be more patient. I feel like Josie may be pushed into a position where she's going to have to be an alpha. Ooh. Yeah, that's what I think. Especially with the Gemini curse coming up, I feel like something's going to take place where Josie is going to have to let everybody know, it's in me to be great. Mm-hmm. So we'll find that out.
And I have to piggyback. I agree.
Okay.
Like I said, I feel like that second wish was foreshadowing the Josie we're going to get to see later this season.
Yes, your Josie.
Yes, my Josie. It's foreshadowing that the Josie we want her to be. We want her to be a little bold and confident and not just be the back burner to Lizzie. Like the back burner to her sister. So I feel like I feel like if it doesn't happen this next episode, I think as the season continues to go on, she's going to get a little more confident. And we're going to see that Josie that we saw tonight, which I'm going to love. And then also, I'm just interested to see who's going to be the Malivore demon to come after.
That's true.
Someone, because Genie didn't get the urn, so somebody else is coming next week. So I'm just interested to see what magical creature we have coming to get it, the following week.
Well, and Jenny didn't really fight for the urn. After Lizzie told her she could return her back without meeting the demon who sent her, I felt like she was like, well, that's better than getting the urn.
I think my thing with Jenny is I feel like she wasn't bad like most and honestly, if you notice all the Malivore demons that have been, not all of them have been just like bad creatures. They haven't just been really bad. They all have this one goal is to get, these things from Malivore.
By any means necessary.
By any means necessary. So Jenny, I feel like she didn't have bad in her. She just was doing her job because she wanted to, be released. So I think maybe she had a good heart. So,
I'm with you on that. You know what you're talking about.
I don't think she was that bad. I don't think she was that bad. She just was she had a deed to do and she was doing it.
Yeah.
To get away.
That's cool. That's what's up.
Well, you guys make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on YouTube. Listen to us on iTunes. Give us that 5-star rating. I'm Alexis Moselle. You can find me on all social media at Madam_Moselle. And where can they find you, Josh?
You can find me under Cleverly Clad at Instagram and Twitter.
All right, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
All righty.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.